Hi everyone, it's Anna Wheaton here from Nudge Nudge Ink. I'm going to take you through a little tutorial today to teach you how to use water with your classic ink pads. So that's these ink pads, the coloured ones, and you require, other than the ink pads, two really simple tools. One is your fingertips and the other is a little bowl of water. So I'm going to flip you around to my work surface and take you through this really pretty technique. Okay, oh goodness me. Okay, we're focused on my glass mat, which is perfect for this technique because we're getting into the inks. So what we are using are the classic ink pads, and I've got 4 colours here. Classic ink pads are water-based ink pads. So if you've ever had a card caught in the mail and it comes out rather, caught in the rain and it comes out rather watery or even blank, chances are you've used these water-based inks. The water-based inks are also in the Stampin' Write markers. So the round-barreled markers, not the Stampin' Blends. Okay, Stampin' Blends are alcohol, so this won't work with it. All right, so what I've done is I've chosen 4 colours. I've got Garden Green, Azure Afternoon, Pumpkin Pie and Poppy Parade. My idea was sort of picking some autumny colours and a sky colour. So with each of those I have a blending brush. Now, it doesn't really matter. You'll see I've got 3 little blending brushes and 1 big one. There is no reason for that. I was just getting the clean ones that I had. So what you're going to do is pick up the ink and do some patchy swirls onto your cardstock, like so. Now, when we've used our blending brushes before, we talk about techniques to stop having this sort of edge. So saying things like come in off the edge of your cardstock or tap your brush to get rid of that edge doesn't really matter in this case. You'll see why with the end result. So filling in some spaces there. Poppy Parade. This is where I've got my large brush, but that's just because that's just all I had. I had brushes out for a class, so they're all sitting in a dish of water. Just doesn't work for me to have 1 brush per ink colour when I'm using them for a class, because sometimes you've got 2 people using the same ink, therefore 2 brushes. Now, for this effect, you really want to get it fairly solid. So you don't want light ink brushing, because the reaction is more obvious the heavier it is. So there we go. I'm just going to bring in my chamois, clean that up. And when I did this, I actually did it on a large piece of paper. So that's the end result. That's the same, just more of it. Doesn't matter if you've got little white patches too, that's okay. Now, what we're going to do is we're going to bring in our water, and just using our fingertips, we want to go into the water. So this is only about 1 centimetre worth of water. And we're just going to flick it onto our paper. Now, it'll take just a little while. You'll start to see a reaction with that. And if I tip it, can you see up here at the orange? There's a fair bit there. Starts to run. So you can do that, or you can just leave it flat. And the water drops will settle into the ink. Now that's, as you see it developing, you can just tap some on in the places that your flicks have missed. This is one of those techniques where you start doing, like even at this stage, you start thinking, oh, I don't know if this is going to work. You've just got to trust the process. I'm going to set that aside. I'll bring it back in a tick. And I'll bring in this big one, because I also want to just see what happens when I spritz it. I haven't done that before with this particular technique. I'll spritz one end. Spritzing gives you a more even or uniform colour reaction, whereas flicking with your fingers, I prefer. Yeah, having done that, I'm liking this end better. Let me bring in a little bit more. Okay, so if I bring that closer to the camera, this is where you can see too, your colours start to meld a bit. So those are sort of joining together, especially if it runs. So see down here, my Poppy Parade has run into my green, across some orange. So you get all these extra colours appearing. And you can also see that it doesn't matter that the white is showing. I'm going to go in here and flick. This then has to dry. You've got to, because we're going to cut it out with dyes. I haven't even shown you what we're making. Should have shown you that at the beginning. Okay. I'm just looking for somewhere to set this down. Oh, I kind of like that. Put that aside, clean up my mess. I'll just bring back the first one, the little one, and there you can see as it settles, it starts to get this strong edge. And what you end up with, once it's dry, is something akin to that. So you can see here the colours have melded a great deal. Here you've got the edges I was talking about. Real mixture. And then you've got, see, there's a purple there. I didn't use purple in this. And yet the blue and the green have gone together to form. Gets quite wrinkly, so that makes it a bit of a challenge to cut out. Here's another one I did. This was a piece that I did getting ready for the class. So we used Gorgeous Grape, Granny Apple Green and Azure Afternoon for that. And you can see there's a variety in the sizes of those little blotches. Okay, so what we're going to do now, I'll just bring in my skim and show you. Remember I said trust the process. We're using, I didn't tell you this at the beginning either, we're using Autumn Leaves. Autumn Leaves was in a previous catalogue. It's now not in a print catalogue, but it is online. So it's a combination of these stamps and then these fabulous dies. And we're going to get this biggest one, this big maple leaf, and pop it on. I'll cut one out of that really sort of, I don't know what you'd say, melted or washed out area. There's that one. And then let's get another one from one of the areas that's got the edges where the water has dried and the ink is quite strong. Get get that out of the way. Oh, no, I won't. One more thing. Here's some gold foil, and I've put, oh, you can't see, I have put on some adhesive sheets on the back of that. So we've got this fantastic die that will cut the spines, or the veins, I suppose you'd call it, veins of the leaves. And because they're quite fine, it's great to have the adhesive sheet on there, because that means that they don't have glue oozing out the side. So we're going to cut 2 of those. So there it is. One more. Okay, so if we bring those in, put my die back. Now, one of the things I discovered in making these is that you get the veins of the leaf and you also get the stalk, but there is no stalk on the large cutout. So you've just got to keep it in mind. So it's not, I guess what I'm saying is it's not terribly strong as a standalone thing. You want to then add it to the card. So I can peel those off. I think that, yeah, there we go. And I can stick those in place like so. And there's the other one. See, they're quite different. Why am I putting that upside down? I'm putting that upside down so that the stalk doesn't stick. But I'll just be careful, just so you can see the comparison. They're pretty. Okay, so there you have 2 watery washout leaves. That's the really watercoloured one. That's the one with more of the edges. Okay, so I'll show you the end result of something like that. I'll bring these in because not only do we have those big leaves, see there's that big maple leaf, there's also this big oak leaf, but then there's small ones. And the small ones have some texture to them when you cut them out. So first of all, the big ones. So here's some samples I prepared earlier. So 3 leaves tied together with a little bit of linen thread. The thank you, the sentiment is from a new stamp set called Everyday Greetings, which is also an online exclusive. It's got all these beautiful fonts and you can combine them with the typeset words. So you can say hello friend, for example, or I'm trying to find, is there no, I'm looking for a happy. We've got birthday and birthday. Okay, birthday wishes is the other way around. So you could have birthday wishes in the fancy font, or you could have birthday wishes, etc. Okay, so that is the one with 3 leaves. And inside, I just kept, once you've cut all the leaves out, you've got this left, which even that is pretty. So I just cut a little sliver off the side to put it inside, to tie that in. And here's one with a single leaf. And inside I've added some double leaves. There's a good combination, hello and friend. And then this one uses the small leaves. So that's that original colour combination. This is the one we made in class, which I cased from a demonstrator. This sample was on our demonstrator Facebook group, and I can't remember her name, but I'll have to look that up. And then I popped some leaves inside. And here's another example of where you could use it. this is an unfinished card, but it's a layer. So I did blending brush through a template that I'd made using the deckled rectangles. That's why it's got those edges. I've then flicked water on it and then stamped to create the sea image. So it suits perfectly for that sort of background. So there you have it. You don't have to buy anything new. If you've got fingertips and water, you can do this with your classic ink pads. So I hope that's inspired you, and I hope you give it a go, because it's tremendous fun seeing the results. Oh, let's bring the old piece of paper back. So this is the end I spritzed. That'll work fine anyway. Like, that's beautiful. This is the end that I flicked. And then the small piece is not going to be all that different anyway from those two, but there it is. And those are still damp. You can even see the shine of the water there. So you're either going to have to heat it with your heat gun or just leave it till the next day to come back to it, put it out in the sun, whatever, because they do need to be thoroughly dry. There you go. If that's inspired you, please give me a thumbs up. I'd love to hear your comments if you like the technique, because that always brightens my day, because it means someone's actually watched my video. Thanks, everyone. Bye.